On July the 25th, I had showed you this tree that I was airlayering. I had airlayered this side over here, and then this here part had already been previously airlayed around July the 7th of 2025. And the rooting system is coming out so fast, but because I normally would use something like peat moss or something to make it work, which is like that down there, but I'm using this different method, and it normally is supposed to take a little longer to start doing its rooting and everything, and this been about 2 or 3 weeks for this tree to start reading from this method that I use. So what I'm about to do today, I'm about to go ahead and cut this branch off of here, and then I'm going to go ahead and put it in a pot, and that's what I'm about to demonstrate today. And that's my pot I have down there that I'm going to put it in. I pretty much have my soil in there, have some comfrey in there to help build up the soil, got some banana peels in there, and I have some charcoal. And then I'm going to try to take you back up here and show you where as I get ready to cut this tree. I don't know if I'm going to get a good shot of it. That should. And I'm going to cut this branch off. Let you see that as I cut it off. And I'm going to cut it off right down here. Okay. Let me see, that's a pretty big branch there I got on this here tree that I'm about to air layer. And I'll let you look at it. See the size of it and everything. That's the size of that branch that I'm air laying. And you can see there the roots and stuff that's coming in. And some people might say, why don't you let the roots go a little bit longer? Because the soil mix I'm going to put it in is going to help further build those roots. And then I'm going to take those leaves off the tree and help it to further develop. But that's what we're about to do right now, is to demonstrate how I will pot up a air layer the tree. And notice I didn't use any rooting hormone or anything to get this here tree to do what I wanted it to do. So there you have it. We got our pot there. And then we're going to put that right in there. You see it? I need to get some more soil over here. I will put that up. Let's sit there for a while. I don't know how stable it's gonna be. Okay. Bring the tree up in there. Try to stabilize it in this dirt. As you can see, I have it. Got a good angle on it. Well, I'm showing you where I'm potting it in this pot here I have. I'm gonna put some water in here. That's probably gonna loosen it up a little bit there. And let me go some more water. I'll be right back. Yeah, this is the process I have to follow. I got to walk back here to my container where I keep my water at, get it watered up. But I was surprised that pecan tree earlier so fast. So I sent the roots out, and normally you would have something that like some peat moss, roots. I'm gonna take the chance of them rotting up in there. So I said I'd probably go ahead and put them in the soil. And by putting it in the soil, it can further build its roots up in there because I got the potassium, which is the banana peels, and I also have some charcoal down in there, and I have some comfrey that should help build up the root system while it's in there. But this is basically the process you go through in in any tree. So we're about to put some water in here. And sorry, I apologize for if the view is not that good. This tree limb is a little bigger than what I anticipated. But nonetheless, this is the size pecan tree that I've already, from that cutting that I airlaid. So that was about 2 or 3 weeks of getting the rooting. I'm not saying that the rooting system is complete within those 2 or 3 weeks that I had airlaid the tree, because I know the roots have to further develop themselves. I would say probably give it about 6 weeks under normal circumstances. But the key, I think, to making this process work was the humidity. And then I would always check my air laying where I put that substrate in there, and I constantly put water in it. And that's how I was able to get it to do so well. So those are the keys. Make sure that you have humidity by doing it sometime in the summertime, and also by doing it in the summertime, and also keeping plenty of moisture on that substrate, and then your air layer to take place. But it's a nice simple method where you can see I didn't use any type of rooting hormone, anything like that. I just used fresh water that was either from the rain or from this creek down here that we have. And then that's how I was able to take this pecan tree. And my primary objective is not so much this particular tree. I have a tree that's been up about 80 some years, and it has some of the best pecans I ever taste. So I'm gonna take this process I learned from here and air layer a limb off of it so that I can preserve that tree in the neighborhood so that we can continue to have pecans. But this is basically a process, and then that you're following, I'm going to probably do a follow-up video so that everyone can see whether or not, with that limited amount of roots being on this here airline that I did, if it was able to hold up like that, if you have to have a whole bunch of roots. But basically what I put down in that soil, I put some comfrey down in the soil, I put some charcoal down in the soil, and I put some banana peels in it, and I probably put a few other things later on to make sure that those roots go ahead and build themselves up. But that's basically all I did. And then I'm going to strip the leaves off of this tree so it can focus on building this root system. But that's basically, people, how simple it is if you wanted to get you a nice pecan tree from air laying. So, and that's pretty much it.